Hi, I thought I would do a quick video with some of these really cool swatches that Lenny Lamb sent me. A lot of people are unsure what it means when we talk about GSM or when they see that little icon on the site for the different color fabrics. So I just wanted to take a quick minute and show you these cool swatches so you can kind of see what the difference in fabric weight is. GSM is grams per square meter. So that means it's how heavy the fabric is, and that's often determined by the thickness of the pile. So like the type of weave and the number of colors and how those colors are woven together. But sometimes, like when we look at the pictures online, it's kind of hard to see, and obviously you're going to see this online. But I thought I'd show you some of these swatches, and hopefully that gives you a better idea of kind of what those different weights look like and how they look like compared to each other. So enjoy. I'm going to switch the camera and show this over to you. Okay, so we're going to start here. So this is kind of in order as much as I can. Some different ones from weights. So the heaviest weights are over here. And then we're starting to get in the midweight, so the Trinity Cosmos is definitely midweight. I mean, this is still midweight too, right? I don't have any 300s here. I'm just kind of showing you the range. So usually a lot of people are comfortable in most of these here. When we get to 300 plus, some people do find that that's too heavy. And then of course, if you don't like a lot of fabric, or if you're in a very hot climate, you may not want necessarily a wrap with some of the heavier ones. But then again, you might too, because one of the things about carriers is that if you love it, you will use it, and if you don't, you won't. So if you live in a hot climate, but these styles of patterns, these textures of cloth don't look as appealing to you, then then you should pick another one that does, because you're likely to still be comfortable enough, and you'll enjoy it. So you'll use it because you love it, and that's the most important thing, right? I don't want people to get carriers and then just have them kind of sit around and never be used, right? I want you to love it. I really want you to enjoy it. So let's take a look at what some of these look like. So over here, we can see we've got some lower GSM. So around like the 200 mark are pretty thin. Now they do have a handful sometimes of even thinner than these. So these are kind of all like that. Light and Shadow is 200. Most of these are about 210. Carousel Colors. Misty Morning is 220. Luna is 220. But these are kind of all general characteristics. Now, sometimes they have thinner ones, and they're usually like a bamboo blend. As you can see on the front and back, they look pretty similar, right? We're not seeing lots of layering of fabrics. There are different colors, but they're not sort of intertwined in an overlapping weave. So that's kind of one of the defining features of these thinner wraps. And thinner wraps can be easier with newborns, with new babies, with new wrappers, just because there's less to pull on. Now, if we move over here a little bit, this is, let's see if we've got a good Ecomex here. So these are herringbones here. These are all 240, and the herringbone is a different type of weave. So this is definitely a solid midweight in the 240s. As you can see, the bottom is definitely a little bit different than the top. We see the character of the weave as it goes through the fabric is a little bit different. So we're looking here, this is considered a broken twill weave. We can kind of see how that's woven there. And then when we look at the herringbone, we see there's a little bit more texture here. These are the ombres. So yeah, all of these are ombres, all of these here. So the color just changed throughout the fabric, although in this swatch it's a little bit harder to see that, but it is changing color as we go about. So this is a midweight, so kind of comparing that to one of these. You can kind of see it's just a little bit thicker pile, and obviously some more texture in the color. So let's compare that to one of these. So this is an interesting weave, because this is the Big Love. So this is again a midweight 240. so these are the same weight, but these are different types of weaves, as you can see. So this has got the heart pattern, and it's just got a little bit of a different texture to it. So this is actually designed to be more breathable, a little bit looser. So even if this were heavier, it would probably feel lighter, and you've still got some of the texture there. You can see the pile is pretty similar. And I can feel the difference in the textures, but it's not, it's not nice. And I can feel, I don't know if you can really see, but there's actually a little bit more like raised texture in this, which I think adds to some of that breathableness in the way it's woven together. So these are the same. These are both 240, these two here. This one here is now we start to get a little bit heavier, so to the like medium heavy, and this is where you start to see a little bit more complexity in this. So this one is just a 2-color weave, and you can see the complexity in the weave itself in making the pattern. You can see on the back it's very reversed, which a lot of people really love about these. It's really beautiful that you kind of get 2 patterns for one, especially in carriers that reverse really well, like the wrap tie, or woven wraps, or even ring slings, where you see both sides. So that's 270. So sort of the 270 compared to that, and if we can try to look at the height of the fabric a little bit, and it's hard to see. It's really not a huge distinction, right? And that's kind of what I'm getting at here. It's not a huge distinction unless you really care about it, and then it is, right? So you sort of have to know where you fall. But for many people, if you love it, it will work for you. This is another example. This is just a little bit different. This is 260. The Love Cook Classic is 270. This one's Trinity Cosmos, which is absolutely gorgeous. And you can see, so these are jacquard weaves, these two. And they're sort of defined by this style, this texture in here, and also by, kind of that reversing coloring. So it's really nice too. So now we're moving over here. So most of these are 270, 280. You probably recognize them as some pretty popular prints. You probably recognize them as some pretty detailed prints as well. And so that's something to compare. So if we look at, this is Jurassic Park. If we look at that compared to the herringbone, like I can feel a weight difference here, even though there's not that much difference in the GSM. You can see that difference there, and I don't know if you can, trying to focus that, but I don't know if you can see the difference in the pile. It's, again, not a lot, but it's just a different feel to the texture in the fabric. And then if we compare it over here to the smoky mint, it definitely feels very different. The mint is definitely very light, and this definitely has more to it, more texture, more grip. So if you like texture, if you like grip, if you like a lot of bold color, a lot of this depth of color, I mean, as you can see, this is just absolutely stunning. This is the heaviest weight over here at 290, the Symphony Rainbow Dark, and it is just full of little textural elements throughout the design, which adds to extra threading, which makes it feel that heavier weight. But again, these are woven fabrics. They're not like canvas, so they're not, they're more breathable by nature. It's just sort of where you fall in the comfort level. And for many people, again, if you love the colors, it doesn't actually affect your use of it all that much because you love it. And so but I do really want people to love what they get. So this is why I like to kind of show this stuff. So you can kind of see that difference in the pile height there. And then if we compare it again to the Smoky Mint, just one of the smallest ones we have here, I think you can kind of see that difference there too, just in the feel of it. And I love to show these to people when I'm able to, because I think it's a really cool way to tell that. These are some other popular peacock's tails. These are both 280. No, this one's actually 270, 280. Again, it's very slight. That difference in I don't know that I'd be able to. I mean, I'm not as well trained, but I don't know that I'd be able to feel that just from looking at that. But you can see the reverses are really stunning, whereas for this one, the reverse is kind of is the same, which is also fine. It's just the reason these have more weight to them, and you won't see something like this in that super low weight, is just because it doesn't have those additional layers of fabric and layers of color, as you can see in there. So like this is the Symphony Classic. This is the lightest of these Symphony prints, is at 260, 290, 280. So you can kind of see they're very similar, but they still have that texture. This just has more because it has more colors and more layering to go within it. So that's kind of what that looks like. That's how some of these fabric differences look. These are some popular fabric types, popular weights, and you can kind of see how they lay and how they look different, how the weaves are different for each of them. This is the broken twill, very light. This is the herringbone, very mid-weight. These are the ombre colors, although it's hard to see that in here, but these do change throughout the fabric swatch. And then this is a mid-heavy weight with a lot of texture and a lot of complexity to that. So I hope that helps, and yeah, enjoy. And if you have any questions, of course, please feel free to message me or leave a comment. Thank you so much.